Good day, everyone. I know it took a little while before I got back on. It's okay. But doesn't matter because whenever I put a message out, it's always whenever you come across. And today my camera decided it does not want to focus. Don't know what. Tried a couple of things. But this is what I gotta do with. Then I'll have to do with it. It still shows and I read what it says. This time I got the deck, The Soul's Journey, and it says lesson cards. We can learn so much when we are able to connect with our soul's journey. Because each person has their own soul, and you have different steps that brings you closer to your soul's journey. And this time I've also pulled out a little sleeping kitty, a little bigger sleeping kitty. I put them on the cards and our hands, the beautiful hands to receive and to give, because you can receive and give. Now, what does our soul's journey wants us to know or look into? 3 cards popped out, and there's one thing that I have been, well, maybe I haven't told everyone, but let me start. That one, the day came, well, my sister was into horseback riding because she had a friend who had little ponies. So she helped me. I got connected to, and oh my God, my sister had to walk next to me. I was so scared. I did love it because it felt good and strange. Eventually, I found I loved horseback riding. There was something in that connection with a horse. They always knew, because I was bullied in school when I had a good day and when I had a bad day. When I had a good day, they were goofing around, crazy, doing some crazy stuff, make me laugh and connect with them. Because when I was on the back of the horse, I forgot everything around me. And then those bad days, when I walked up to the stables, they knew. They were quiet. I was cranky. Never beat them. I was never rough with them. Stern, yes. And then when I started riding, oh, they listened so well. They did every single thing I asked. Until my mood started to change, I started to relax. Oh, they gave it to me. They jumped of joy. People around me always thought the horse tried to kick me off, but I was the center when he was doing rodeo. And there's one thing. That's the biggest thing you learn when you're riding horses. That's balance. Didn't matter. I could use a saddle. I could ride without. I could use a bridle and I could do without. It didn't matter. I just got on the horse and balance. Sometimes they step in a little hole or they get spooked and jumped to the side. And I always followed. The times that I fell off a horse, well, I got two hands. In total, I can still count the number of times I fell off in the 16 years. 16 years I did it. And it says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world. And I do so without judgment. Now think of what a horse did when I was out of balance because of what happened at school, the bullying. I had even a time in school that I walked under a rain, but it was not water. It was a rain of spit. Yes, they literally made sure I was walking under their spit, like threw it over me. I had a big coat, so when I got home, yep, I was out of balance. And one day, when I started riding, they brought a state of perfect harmony back into my world. And it felt good. So animals have always been a big guideline for me. They, no matter what, a horse, a cat, a dog, even sheep and cows, even though I didn't spend as much time with them as I did with cats and horses. They don't judge. Sometimes you see and you hear about people being not very nice to their animal. And then you think, especially dog, why won't they bite? Why do they stay close? Well, they always try to get back into a non-judgment area. Always trying to please the person that's raising them, that they're walking, even though they're not nice. Because that's who an animal is. They try to get that person to a better level, to connect to their soul's journey. Animals are biggest teachers, therapy, psychologists. They can bring so much joy. And if you cannot have one in your life because of some, maybe even allergy, or the place you live at, or people around you in the same place that are allergic to animals or scared, watching an animal, study the animal, just see how they go through life is can also be very therapeutical. The second card, love. And it looks a little bit, they all look a little bit like a mandala. The first, the balance, the green, the blue, and in the center, the bright light. It's not projected this time as good as I like to, but you get it. Love, that's fire, compassion. Only thing you connect with your heart to shows your true compassion. The unconditional love is so important. Some people, well, do you love yourself? Sometimes with everything that's been going on, it's hard to say, I love myself. And then sometimes you come across an animal or a person who does not care how you are or how negative or unloved you feel. They help you see what unconditional love can do for you. And it says under it, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, which was basically told it was my biggest flaw. I never saw anything bad. And still, I like to seek the good in any person, in any animal. And yes, some don't want to help. You give it one go, maybe a second time, and then you have to let that person find his or her own way. Because seeing the good in all things does not mean you let them walk all over you. But when you see the good things, you feel your heart is going to open up. Your heart, that beautiful ball of red, starts to grow. And you sometimes even feel it pumping in your body. That good, nice, warm, throbbing feeling. And if you never felt it, it can be scary. But it's there. It's a start. Just keep lighting it. Keep trying to see the good. And those that are not willing to listen, just plant the seed and walk away. Because when you walk away to those are not willing to change, it's basically telling you you love yourself more. All that leads to growth. And this says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Well, with the steps I just said, finding your balance, even on a bad day, that's connected to seeing all the good in all the things. Because when you see the good, you grow, you expand, because you see beyond. You can see through a lot of BS. And that brings me to something I came across shortly, a couple of days ago. I have trouble reading news articles. I just cannot read it. All the letters start to dance. I cannot read it. Because I'm looking for the good. And even though they're positive, the words are positive, what's behind is not good. And a couple of days ago, I came across an article and I could all of a sudden read it. I cannot say what it was about because, well, that involves everything we've been through at least the last 3 years. But that article, there was no hidden dark meaning. It was positive. And that's what this message is about. The soul's journey, balance, love, and growth. You can love a lot of things, but when you're out of balance, you don't need much. And I can just give it a little idea. When I put it on this crochet stuff and you tap it it's easily thrown about because it's not as stable as when I put it on this. And if on a card, it has more weight and it is less likely to tumble over. So when you're balanced, and it will be really hard for those that don't like you to change, to bring you off balance. When you're in balance, you can walk on an even ground and you won't tumble over, you won't fall because you're in balance. And that's what they say. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world. This can be in relationships, it can be on any level you can have in your life. And you'll do that without judgment. And yes, you can look at a person. Are you really sure you want to go that route? And they show you, yes, they do. Okay? Your choice. Your choice. Yes, some people don't choose it. But in a way, they do. Because you've given them the way, there's a way out. And they at that point, yeah, right. Yeah. Hi, Gary. So, yeah, that balance, that is so important. Because it doesn't matter when you have harmony in your world on all the levels, and it doesn't matter if you can walk or you can only sit or you can only lay down. It does not have to be the physical balance, but when your energy is balanced, it is big. Yeah, I know maybe I should start to do it with a 15 to 30-minute announcement. But then I get impatient and I'll just jump on. So you can commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And you don't have to look straight at it. You can also glance. What is it? What can I see? Is there something good? Maybe you're a person that likes to rescue animals. And you see maybe in a dog or a cat something deep inside that dog that even with all the abuse and all that big mouth of that dog or cat that's hissing and clawing at you because they lost faith in everything. But when you sit still, you might see a glimmer of their true essence, of their true love, that somewhere under that armor is a very caring and loving animal and person or anything on that earth. I know they tell me there are some that are pure evil, absolutely. But in a way they're so damaged and too scared to open up and change. But when you start to do all those things because you have started your journey, your healing path, eventually you will grow into that person you were meant to be before you were conditioned. Life is no fun. Life is hard. Well, you can have tons of fun, tons of looking at it. It ain't that hard because it's all how hard you make it. And that's, they say, well, yeah, you can choose. That's a big decision because we're taught, oh, you have to choose which school you have to go. And they don't understand why you cannot make that decision because it's big. With these 3 cards, think of it. You start to choose just one thing that you're gonna do the best to your ability to find that harmony, that balance, to find that glimmer of love. And that will help you expand your consciousness and your awareness. And that's what I got. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment down below. Leave something in the comments, or if it resonates with you, I would love to know. So anyone part of the life, oh, I'm getting on really, and a pretty long one. That's okay. And I'm grateful Gary got my life again. Also, he is on a big healing journey. So am I. And there's one thing, and I'm gonna dig into it. I found out sometimes you just, when you're, yeah, that you can do that. When I had that trip to Belgium, it ended up about 6.5 hour trip. My body was exhausted, and I thought, well, let's make myself easy and get myself some takeout to a restaurant. And no, they don't ask me for those chopsticks. They just eat with fork. And what happened? After I ate a portion, I can eat so much. I can eat 3 days from it. That night, the biggest flare up of arthritis and maybe even the fibromyalgia. That's not diagnosed, so, and I keep that in the 3D world. But it felt my body was on fire. The next day, it started to fade away. I ate two more days of it. And each of those 3 days, I had the same problem. I never had that. So something has changed there. And I'll be going back to what I've been doing for a long time. Clearly, my body cannot handle multiple ingredients like potatoes or egg, vegetables, rice. So right now I'm back to, if I want a piece of meat, I eat a piece of meat. If I want some bread, I just eat. Eat here some piece of bread. Nothing on it. And it sounds bland. But for my body, I clearly can handle that way better than anything mixed up. I'm gonna see to find out why that happened. Maybe that's because I live in Europe, in Netherlands, and the food here, oh, if I put anything I get from the groceries, like meat, and I put it for an hour in water and salt, I have no problem at all. It's perfect. So something is off. And all I can do is try to balance that, to love every single bite that really feeds my body. And growth, well, I don't see that on the weight side. I hope. I need a doggy in my life, but that will happen one day. Because all these steps teaching me what is best for me. And I challenge you to find that for yourself. I don't like all those predicted diets because, well, even if it's across the country and on the other side of the ocean, that what works there might not work here. Because, and also every person is different. But a soul's journey, yes, each soul's journey has their own. So pick what you can pick, what resonates with you, and just nourish it. Find that balance, that harmony. And don't think big, because that's what we were taught. Be in the now as much as you can, even if it's only 30 seconds. Try to get that 30-second moments multiple times a day, and eventually it starts to flow over, and you will be able to be in the now. And from now and then, yep, you're asked to do that 3D shit. I'm sorry I'm saying it like that, but that's the only way. And then get back to balance, to love. And it will, because even if you have to deal with that, the 3D stuff, every experience helps you grow. So I'm gonna say good night or good day, everyone. And whenever you come across this message, it's meant for you to see. And I always say, I try to keep it under 10 minutes. It's 3 times as long. That's okay, then it was meant to be. So, see you next time. When my guides tell me to get on, I will get on. And that could be your 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. in the evening, or even completely midnight. It's what my guides want me. When my guide tell me you have to get on now, then I will do that. So thank you for watching. I'm grateful for any comment. And if it so happens you want to know more, you want to learn more, of course, when we do a one-on-one, I will talk a lot faster. Because it's nighttime, that's why I keep my calm adjusted to the calm of the night.